Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm back with another Blu Ray review. Um, this is a bit unorthodox, a bit of a different turn for me. This is not a horror film, this is not an exploitation film. Um, I believe the last time I did anything that was not a horror movie or exploitation was, well, it's sort of exploitation, I don't remember what movie, but it was a Kung Fu movie. And that was like right soon after I started doing this stuff. But I mean, it sort of fits in the vein. Kung Fu, they showed a lot of Kung Fu in grindhouses back in the day. But this is neither of the sort. But I love the movie so much that I wanted to do a review on it, and I wanted to sort of turn you guys onto it, try to convince you to watch it. And that would be Super, starring Rainn Wilson. Rainn, most horror fans would know him from House of a Thousand Corpses. He's best known for his reoccurring role on the NBC hit series The Office, which I am a fan of. That and the British version, where he plays Dwight Schrute. And this was directed by James Gunn of Slither fame, and he used to also work for Troma, directed Romeo and Juliet. I'm not a big James Gunn fan. And actually, when I first watched the film, I didn't know he had done it. Because honestly, if I'd have known, I probably wouldn't have watched it. I'm not a big fan of Romeo and Juliet, and sorry to say, guys, I know a lot of you guys like Slither. I'm not a big fan of Slither either. Um, but he did a fantastic job on this movie. Um, Rainn Wilson plays a guy named Frank. Frank is sort of just your everyday man. Doesn't have a whole lot going for him. He kind of seems a little boring. He doesn't. He's not the best looking. He doesn't dress all that great. He works at. He works as a cook, a grill cook, at a Greasy Spoon sort of diner. But the one thing that he has in his life that he loves more than anything in the world is his wife, Sarah. I believe is her name, played by Liv Tyler. Is it Sarah? Nah, it doesn't say. I think it's Sarah. Can't remember. See, I don't care about character names. Anyway, Liv Tyler loves her more than anything, and of course, already you're thinking, how in the hell would a guy like that get a girl like her? Well, you find out later, and it kind of makes sense as to why they're together. Um, Basically, she was a drug addict, and she worked as a waitress at the same diner. Um, she sort of needed somebody that was grounded and safe. Somebody basically that would worship the ground she walked on and was just somebody safe that she knew would never leave her. And so I think that's sort of why she picked him and sort of fell for him, because he sort of brought her back down to earth. Anyway, well, one day, Frank starts noticing some things that maybe she's starting to go back into that lifestyle via him coming home and her doing bong hits on the floor with some random people and her telling him to shut the fucking door. Um, and then one day, she's gone. Um, and she leaves Frank for a guy named Jock, who's played by Kevin Bacon. Jacques owns a strip club and is a drug dealer. Um, and basically, Liv's character gets hooked back on drugs. And so Frank tries to go to the police. They stole my wife. They stole my wife. And when the police find out that his wife just left him, they kind of, shove him out the door. Frank goes home. He's just distraught. I mean, his life's in shambles now. This was the only thing in his life that was worth anything. And he's sitting on the couch, flipping through the channels, when he stops on a Christian TV channel. and there's a show on about a Christian superhero named the Holy Avenger. Um, and Frank sort of gets this idea of getting her back by being a superhero, fighting crime and then going and getting her back from Jock. So he has to do some research, and that is where he meets Ellen Page. Ellen Page works at a comic book shop. She's completely insane, her character. She later becomes his kid's sidekick, Bolty, because his superhero name is the Crimson Bolt, and she's Bolty. She's completely nuts. So they fight crime together and go and try to get Sarah back. This thing is completely off the wall, balls to the wall, insane. I guarantee you've never seen a superhero film like this. I mean, if you look, of course he has no superpowers. He knows this. There's no delusions as to that. So what he does is he takes his giant pipe wrench and beats people with it. It's violent. It is hilarious. It is sort of trippy, psychedelic kind of weirdness at times. There are points where it's, emotional and dramatic. There are moments where it's sort of awkwardly perverse. I mean, this thing has everything under the kitchen sink, and it's one of those movies where you think you sort of have things figured out as to what direction the movie's going, tone-wise, and it flips you, like, out of nowhere. This thing keeps you on your toes. It's just, the first time I saw it, it was one of those jaw droppers. I was like, what am I watching? Because you sort of, they said you sit down, you start watching a movie, and you go, okay, I get what's going on here. I see what kind of movie they're making. And then something happens, and you're like, okay, well, what the hell am I watching? I don't know where this is going. It's one of those movies where anything goes, and I love that about this. Especially in a genre a film like superhero films, which are pretty cut and dry. There's a villain, and the superheroes go after them. Somewhere in there, the superhero is in peril himself. He gets out of it and saves the day. That's it. This is just completely different and completely amazing, completely entertaining. I'm telling you guys, you gotta see this movie. There are things in this that are going to appeal to horror fans just because, I mean, let's just be straightforward about it. We like to watch violence. One of it, I mean, not like we're sickos or anything, but, I mean, the guys running around the city beating people with a pipe wrench. Drug dealers and stuff. People that butt in line. Things like that. Things that irritate us. Drug dealers and people that butt in line and child molesters. But yeah, I'm telling you guys, you gotta see this movie. It's so funny and so weird and so just off the wall. Completely original, in my opinion, as to the way that the story is sort of weaved. Props to James Gunn. He did a fantastic job. Everybody in this, acting-wise, does a fantastic job. Rainn Wilson does a great job. You would think that maybe he's sort of a Dwight Schrute type character, which there are subtle sort of things with the character that is Dwight Schrute, but for the most part, it's a completely different character. Ellen Page does a great job as this completely psychotic comic book nerd. Kevin Bacon does a great job. Everybody is funny. It's just great. The picture on this is great. It's good. Oh, and by the way, the soundtrack's awesome too. So, I mean, everything about it's great. Uh, you get a deleted scene, a TV spot, behind the scenes thing that's not too long, 15 minutes. A making of the main titles, How to Fight Crime featurette, which is basically, oh no, that's South by Southwest thing. There's a thing in it's something about, yeah, How to Fight Crime at South by Southwest, where I guess they were at the South by Southwest Film Festival. So Rainn Wilson and Ellen Page decided to do a little sort of skit, I guess, and it's basically Rainn Wilson walking around Austin in his Crimson Bolt costume, really going up to random people, like doing like stupid stuff like loitering or jaywalking or something, and he goes and like tells them to stop. So that's fun. And then you got commentary with James Gunn and Rainn Wilson. I'm telling you guys, really seriously, pick this up. It's pretty cheap everywhere right now. It was just released last week. Um, I'm telling you, uh, if you're fans of anything subversive, as it says up here, you will really, really like this. I'm telling you, this is probably the best film I've seen in 2011. Albeit I haven't been to the theater a lot to see a whole lot of things, but I have seen some new stuff this year, and this is probably number one. Love it, love it, love it. Check it out. Super. I'll see you next time.